Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
Quarterback's arm is going forward, and it's an
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
quarterback's arm is going forward, and it's an
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
quarterback's arm is going forward, and it's an
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
quarterback's arm is going forward, and it's an
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
quarterback's arm is going forward, and it's an
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
quarterback's arm is going forward, and it's an
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain.
quarterback's arm was going forward, and it's an incomplete.
Oh, man, on a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under review. The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the receiver did not maintain
Quarterback's arm was going forward, and it's an incomplete.
Oh, man, on a call that is.
Well, that was a bad call.
Welcome to another bad call. It's a Friday night where JD and I are not dealing with the refs aren't. I butchered that like hell.
Last week you bitched and moaned because I didn't let you do it. And this time I'm like, all right, I'll give you a thumbs up. I'll give you a thumbs up. And you're like, fumble hands over here.
You got me thrown all out of rhythm.
Yeah.
Where the refs aren't the only ones who get it wrong. Yeah.
There you go. That's better.
It is a holiday week. We're brushing off the wounds of the Thanksgiving Day slate, although it treated me very well in my season long. Not so well from a DFS standpoint. Luckily, a couple of the boosted wagers actually allowed me to have a positive gain in my accounts, so that helps.
Positive gain is always.
Yeah. So, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing. I complain. Yesterday was a nice, relaxing day. I know. Thanksgiving looked a little different for a lot of people this year. As much as I wanted to see everybody and be around my family, it was football. I mean, because normally, we're driving out to celebrate. Nice for a change to not miss so much of football. I mean, driving back, I missed the second half. Because normally, we're driving out to celebrate with you guys. I missed the second matter of whether I can half of the first game, and then we're driving back. I missed the second half of the. To be able to actually just the last game and. In between, it's a matter of whether I can position myself to see and hear football. So I missed hanging out with everybody, but it worked out. It was nice to be able to actually just sit and enjoy football for a change too. So so that was kind of nice. But
did you cook or did the wife?
I missed hanging out with everybody, but it worked out for football, and it was nice to actually have our first Thanksgiving in our house too. So they just provided the turkey, so that was sweet. So we just had to do sides because, the sister provided a really nice pie. So it worked out really well for me. Yeah.
Nice.
It was my first time dealing with I did not. Turkey, so Mom and Dad were kind of an experience enough to actually roast the turkey for us. They just provided the turkey. So that was sweet. All the turkey off the bones and ripping the bones out, all that. So we just had to do sides because,
nice.
The sister provided a really nice pie. So it worked out really well for me.
Relax, watch football.
It was my first time dealing with carving the turkey, though, so that was an experience. And me and being dirty and germophobia, and so cleaning all the turkey off the bones and ripping the bones out. All that was
still
fun.
It's a bummer. Hopefully next year we.
But hey, you know what? It was a nice day with family. I got to relax, watch football.
Thanksgiving's always been my favorite.
That's why I love Thanksgiving.
I
mean, it is hands down my favorite holiday, and I got to spend it in a way that allowed me to relax more than normal. So
hopefully,
no
you're just getting together with family that you don't see as often as you'd like. And I got a lot of great memories of playing football out in the yard as a kid, and then as an adult, having some beverages and relaxing and catching up on life. So.
And as a younger adult, having beverages and then trying to play football, which is idea.
Yeah.
So speaking of beverages, you took a little break from the beer game, and I saw yesterday you celebrated not only Thanksgiving but being back to drinking beer. You hit your goal, man. You went from Labor Day to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I actually did have one beer last Thursday, like absent-mindedly, but
you might have a problem then.
Yeah, something going on at work. I was leaving. It was his last day, and he grabs a couple of beers out of our fridge and says, "Here, let's have a drink before I leave." And yeah, sure. And I cracked it and started drinking. I'm like, why does this taste so? Oh, I haven't had a beer in over 2.5 months. No wonder it tastes so damn good.
Whoops.
Yeah. So, but I mean, really, I was lived up to it, and I'm not going to get back into the craziness that I was because it's Christmas time. I can't afford to get back into that habit. But I'm here having. I did get some good beers for the Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm enjoying a couple of them while we do this. So,
well, good for you. So let the bad calls roll.
That kind of changed my luck as it comes with DFS because hasn't been the best year so far.
Yeah, so I don't want to spend too much time rehashing last week because there's not a whole lot to go over. I had a bad week last week. I had a bad week last week all around. All around. More guys get hurt. I had more guys get benched. Guys get hurt. I had some guys get benched, but they were scattered throughout multiple lineups. I had some good plays. Might have been okay, but they were scattered throughout multiple lineups. So here we are ready to go. Put them together.
I mean, actually,
I might have been okay, but
probably my best
day
cash wise last week.
So here we are ready to go again.
My lineup got there in all 3 double ups,
very nice.
Which let me cash for positive return last week. I didn't have any good GPP lineups, but cash got me there on the backs of Taysom Hill, Dalvin Cook, and Adam Thielen. So I'll tell you what, at the beginning of the second set of games, I was feeling pretty nervous, like, ooh, this could be a complete wash week. And then Adam Thielen just blew it up for me.
Yeah.
But I was still a little upset. I let myself get off of a couple plays. Nice. I got myself talked into Alvin Kamara, who I wasn't feeling super great about. And that ended up getting me off of Keenan Allen, which really that was a big change in outcome. Yeah. So I need to be a little more mindful about what I'm reading and how I'm interpreting it as far as how it's going to let me make my decisions. So
it always stings when you're on a guy and you come off of him, overthink it, and then it stings. Yeah, he blows up. That's always rough.
Yeah, so
that's okay. That's why we're happy that we get a couple more weeks of this, despite having a little bit smaller. Yeah, it always stings when you're on a guy and you come off of him, overthink it, and then.
So,
all right, you ready to build some lineups?
I am.
That makes one of us.
I mean, yeah, not the greatest, but we can try. We can certainly see what we can do to get there, and I'm not sure how close my final product is to what I got down now, but let's take a crack at it.
All right, man. Where are we starting?
All right. Well, I think at this point, the place where everyone should be starting any sort of cash lineup these days. If he's in the slate, go get you some Dalvin Cook. The guy has just been a monster. He keeps doing it, and he's got one of the best possible matchups that you could possibly have for a running back this week. So even though that price is starting to climb, we're we're going to go ahead and jam that $9,500 player in there.
Yeah.
So,
yep, you kind of have to.
Then moving from there, I'm going to go and lock myself in on Keenan Allen. I let myself get off of him last week. I'm not going to do it this week. They got a matchup in a game that's got a high total with the Chargers at the Bills. Should be make for a good football game to watch between two pretty young and exciting quarterbacks in Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. And the Bills slot corner is not good. That's the matchup there for Keenan Allen is just tremendous. But I mean, that's another high price player I got there at $8K. So things start getting a little tricky. You want to know how I'm going to try to make things are going to be even trickier here, because I'm going to go ahead and pay all the way up at tight end too for Travis Kelce, $7K. And so, they got a matchup with Tampa Bay. It's not, as far as a tight end matchup, it's not the best, it's not the worst, but Kelce is, the Chiefs have a 29.5 point implied team total. This game is slated for 56 over under. There's got to be points to play, and Kelce is Mr. Reliable when it comes to targets for Patrick Mahomes, and then B, the tight end position has just been a complete disaster this year when it comes from DFS standpoint. There's really only it's like Kelce and Waller, and Waller's not a bad option this week either, but I just want to go ahead and go for the home run stud here.
Yep.
Now I gotta start finding some value to be able to fit this.
Wait. So when you spend half your budget on three players, you're find value at the other. So six? When you spend, I don't believe you. Half your budget on three players, you're saying you got to find value at the other six. I'm not good at math, but I think that's I don't believe you.
That's funny because you are good at math.
I am good at math. All right, I'm not good at math, but I think that's how it works.
Options this week. There's not a ton that really.
I am good at math. All right.
I mean, there are good options, but I can't pay up for a guy when I want these other players. So I looked to Derek Carr at 5,700 playing at Atlanta, a team that's given up a lot of points to a lot of different teams, and I think that it shouldn't be too hard for him to hit the value that you're looking for out of that position. 4for4 does have him as their top value, and as from the quarterback position. So feeling pretty good about him. The Raiders have been pretty decent this year.
Yep.
So then next guy I looked at is running back for the Browns, and they're playing the Jaguars, who just not very good. And but the running back I'm going with here is the cheaper one in Kareem Hunt at 5,600. He's more of the passing down back. I know that Nick Chubb has been a stud for Cleveland. But I think actually in this matchup, both of these backs could return the value. And especially with no Odom Beckham and things like that, Cleveland really has been a run-first team. And I think that Chubb or Hunt, I'm sorry, with his receiving work and whatnot, I think at 5,600, he's a reasonable option here.
Yeah, I think the key thing here is when you look at that matchup. Hey, thanks, Lens. When you look at that matchup, both of these running backs should be able to eat without any issues. Not only are you facing a team that's not been really good against the run this year, if I'm not mistaken, they're starting Mike Glennon this week.
Yeah.
So you're not really worried about I think scoring points. I think the key thing here is when you look at that matchup. Run this down. Hey, thanks, Lens. When you look at that matchup, both of these running backs should be able to eat without any issues. Not only are you facing a team that's not been really good against the run this year, if I'm not mistaken, they're starting Mike Glennon this week.
10 carries. Easy,
so
that's not bad.
So you're not really worried about them scoring points and getting into the shootout. They're just run this down. So I think both are there, and when you're trying to find your value, because like we said, you spent half your budget on 3 players, saving 1,500 and throwing in a guy that's probably going to get you 10 carries easy. That's not bad.
Too much at running back. Though there is an option that could change things. I'm not sure if I want to go there at this point, but so the first wide receiver value that I'm looking at is Andy Isabella. He's all the way at the min price of 3,000. You got a matchup against New England, whose defense really has been trash. I think if people are afraid of New England's defense, it's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. New England's not good against slot receivers. Larry Fitzgerald's been running a lot of slot this year. Larry Fitzgerald's not playing this week, which is why Andy Isabella is such a value. He should see an uptick in targets. It won't take much at all for him to return value. So
I've been burned by him so many times.
I know it's hard, but he's going to be out there in 3 wide sets. Arizona runs a ton of 3 wide sets. So, I mean,
hey, Lindsay, thanks for that share. I really appreciate it.
I'm a little.
I've been burned by him so many times in the last 4 weeks.
I'm a little bit concerned about Kyler's shoulder. That's probably why I wouldn't start a lineup.
Hey, Lindsay, thanks for that share. Really appreciate it.
This week, but anyway, it's a min-price guy who's going to have opportunity on a team that's going against a bad defense. So, building this kind of lineup. So that's what we got. Now I went ahead and went deep value again at the other receiver position with this lineup. In the last, he's really only been playing the last 4 games, and that's Denzel Mims at 3,500 for the Jets. In the 4 games that he's played, he's seen 8, 7, 3, and 7 targets. So the one, I think he got banged up a little bit in the one where he only got 3 targets. So if you're looking at 7 targets for a 3,500 receiver, I think that's pretty decent. Now they've got a tough matchup against Miami,
and looks like Darnold might be back too.
So
I don't know if you consider that a lateral move, a forward move, or a backward move. But,
I'll tell you what, it probably makes Crowder a better play because Joe Flacco apparently can't see Jameson Crowder.
Looks like Darnold might be back too.
He only sees Rashad Perriman.
I don't know if you consider that a lateral move, a forward move, or a backward move.
Drop a bit. But in a game where they're probably going to have to pass because they'll probably be playing from behind, if I can get 7-ish targets out of Denzel Mims for 3,500, I think it's reasonable. So then in the flex position, I went back to another running back. This guy scored touchdowns in 4 straight weeks, and they're playing Cincinnati. So I went ahead and put Wayne Gallman at 5K in that flex position. I don't know what we're going to get out of Cincinnati, but I think that the Giants play better when they have been concentrating a little bit on the run here, and Gallman's done a pretty dang good job. The Giants have something to play for. You know, they're you know, it's crazy, but seriously, they're in a playoff position.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Which is sad. It's just really, that whole division is sad, but they've got a good matchup here, and so I like Wayne Gallman. He's been pretty steady here the last several weeks. So just left me. Usually I just take whatever's left and throw it at in the defense. Right now, honestly, I couldn't take the extra 300 or 400 off of this defense and add it to a different one of those low priced receivers and find somebody that I liked better than either of those guys. So I'll take the 2,700 and put the Chiefs in there because old Tom he's been turning the ball over some this year, and the Chiefs defense has been kind of the real deal. So
I'll go ahead and talk about this Chiefs defense because they're in my GPP lineup. Tom's been struggling, especially when they throw the deep ball, and I think what we're gonna see is a case where he tries to keep up with Mahomes. He can't do it. He can't do it. Know better at this point in time, but I think that's you should know better at this point in time. But I think that's what's going to happen. And I really think you're going to see some big shots to Hill, maybe to Hart, get Tom going, and he's going to try to do the same thing, and it's going to get Tom going, and he's going to try to do the same thing, and it's just not going to work out very well. So you have some interesting plays in here. I like that play. You have some interesting plays in here, and looking at it from a cash standpoint, QB seems kind of like a no-brainer. It looks to me like if I'm looking at it from a cash standpoint, Cook in these smash QB seems kind of like a no-brainer just because of the value. I like having, and then you've got some obviously like having Cook in these smash spots. You've got some guys with some upside, but they're floor. And I like Allen, so you've got your and Kelsey, so you've got a good.
Oh, for sure. No, I get it. I get it. I went for
you've got some guys with some upside, but their floor is
home run plays
not there. So it'll be
to be able to fit.
It'll be interesting.
As many home run plays in as I did in this lineup. Like I said, I don't know if this is where we're going to end up. There could be more value pop up. Maybe you'll talk about this guy. I don't know if you looked at him or not, but Brian Hill's out there right now for 4K.
He's in my
I figured you were gonna probably have him, so I'll let you go ahead and get after it with your lineup. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put Brian Hill for 4K. I feel a lot more comfortable with Wayne Gallman for 5K than I do Brian Hill at 4K.
Yeah, I had some other options in there too. Like I poked around a little bit. He's in my lineup. Again, I'll be doing a lot more moving around in the tomorrow and even probably Sunday morning. And so this lineup may not even stick. Prince of the Burbs looks like, hey, what's going on, buddy? I've got a lag and an echo. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I had some other options in there too. Like I poked around a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Again, I'll be doing a lot more moving around in tomorrow and even probably Sunday morning. The echo coming through and so this lineup may not even stick. Prince of the Burbs looks like, hey, what's going on, buddy? I've got a lag and an echo. Oh, that's not good. I'll have to restart after this. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing. That's interesting. Why I'm getting the echo. Hold on one. I mean, I heard the echo coming through on your side every now and then when you're talking. Like I could hear myself through your side, but I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. Right. I'll have to restart after
I think
this.
what was happening is it was trying to pick up my
I bet you I know why it's doing it.
2 different locations. Prince
Hold on
one still with me.
Second.
You let me know if that helped the echo out at all. All right, so here's Justin's lineup: Derek Carr, Kareem Hunt, Wayne Gallman, Keenan Allen, Devin Mims, Andy Isabella, Travis Kelce, Dalvin Cook, and the Chiefs defense. I like it. According to the Football Guys DFS single lineup builder, looking at like a 145.84, and I think that's more of a floor-ish area than or an average. It's not. I shouldn't say it's a floor. It's an average. All right, let's go ahead and switch to a GPP. Your upside is 199 points. How you like that?
I'll take it. Can I book that? Can I just book it for me? I'll just play that lineup. I'll just play that lineup. I don't care what, whatever.
Yep. Everywhere. Real quick too, Lindsay, thank you for the like and the share. Really appreciate it. We both had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you did as well. I see you're streaming too, so maybe we'll talk to you here in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and pop up. You think it fixed it? Yes. Thanks, man. I appreciate you looking out. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. Let's get this lineup here. So, I like you too. Said, give me some Derek Carr. I don't see how this game stays under 50 points. And he's cheaper than Matt Ryan. So, I have some concerns too with the Falcons that there's not going to be any Julio Jones and no Todd Gurley. So, you're looking at some weapons taken away. So that hurts Ryan's value. So you definitely went with the Derek Carr option here. Going to running back, I too started with Dalvin Cook because the upside is just too high and the floor's too high. So didn't really have a choice there. As you alluded to, and we just talked about.
Are you supposed to be projecting this into our stream because it's not coming up?
You can't hear me?
No, I could hear you. It's just usually you have it up on the screen.
Oh, there it goes. That's unfortunate. Yeah, see, I started drinking tonight too, so maybe that that did it. Alrighty. So as I was beginning to say here, Ryan Hill, again, I think this game is gonna score well. It's gonna be a high scoring affair. The Raiders aren't super great against running backs either. Hill has shown that he can get it done when Gurley's not. I mean, even with Gurley in the game, he spelled him a couple times and done really well. So I suspect there'll be some Ito Smith thrown in there too, but Hill's going to get the bulk of it. And at 4,000, again, it's a matter of volume for the price. You mentioned playing a guy like Mims or Isabella at that low price because you think they're going to get this many thrown this way. Hill slotted in at 4,000 as running back to probably be guaranteed 12 to 15 touches. So that kind of volume is just hard to pass up on. Who we got next? All right, so we touched on this a little bit when we were talking about the Chiefs defense, that Brady has been struggling with the deep ball. And now that he's got his buddy playing with him, he is just throwing him the ball on a regular basis, nonstop. I think he had 13 targets in the last game. So I've got some Antonio Brown coming in here again in a game where I think they're going to have to keep up, and he's going to want to keep up, or at least maybe keep the Chiefs off the field. That dink and dunk, just get him to Brown on the sideline or across the middle and let him do his work. And at 5,700, if he gets like 8 targets at 5,700, I'm happy with that. I too went a little high in the in the tight end department and went with Waller. Again, the same reason. We got a higher scoring affair. Carr loves throwing at Waller, and I don't think Atlanta's going to have an answer for him. Normally, in these GPPs, what I like to do is go QB receiver and then bring it back on the other side. In this case, Waller basically acts as a receiver, so I think he fits good in that spot. I also I did a little stack here with my Chiefs Bucks game, and Tyreek Hill. They've been using him quite a bit lately, which has been really nice to see as somebody that's got him in season long. And I don't see any reason why that stops now. He's been stretching the field, and he can do it from the backfield. He can do it from the slot position. Like, the guy's he's so fast. So they can use him in so many different ways. And the Bucks have a really fast defense, sideline to sideline. But I think if you use Hill and stretch it out, it's going to be good.
Be interesting to see. It sounds like Sammy Watkins is going to be back this week.
Yep. Yeah.
So, he'll be back for a week and a half.
Yeah, and that may eat into his targets, but I mean, they were using a spread basically between Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, and McCole Hardman to cover that. Meanwhile, Hill and Kelsey were still eating, so I don't see that it'll really cut into Hill's value at all.
Oh, I'm thinking it probably hurts Demarcus Robinson the most.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He's a drop candidate.
Who, when we're thinking we're gonna get all of the Mecole Hardman here lately. It just hasn't happened. So.
Yep. All right. So, going back to the well again with this guy, this KJ Hamler guy. Again, he's getting the targets. He obviously didn't hit his 10 targets that he had gotten the 2 weeks before, prior to last week, which didn't really expect. He said if we can get in that like 6 to 8 range at 3,500 in a game where they're going to have to do something, and it's not going to be running the ball very well. So I expect, and it'll probably be garbage time, the end of the third quarter, early fourth quarter. It's hard to tell though, because with Taysom Hill at QB, you just don't really know what you're going up against.
Yeah, it seems like a more ball control. I mean,
yeah.
But
all right,
it really seems to have hurt Kamara's value quite a bit. But I think we saw Michael Thomas have a little bit better game than, and it could have been health wise too. So
yeah, so I did have Michael Thomas slotted in at one point in this lineup, and I will be building lineups with Michael Thomas, but not this one. So my flex position, this is tough. I like to go with guys that in a GPP, you're looking at your upside guys. So I've got Michael Pittman slotted in there right now. The last 2 weeks, 19.2 and 15.6. And that was at Tennessee versus Green Bay, and they're going against Tennessee again. So I just like where he sits. I like his opportunity. Phillip Rivers seems to be trusting him more and more, which helps out quite a bit. And I mean, really, who are the other receiving options at this point in time? I mean, it seems to be that it's like Pittman, Burton, Nyheim Hines. So, and then as I mentioned, we've got the Chiefs defense in there. So your upside actually came in at 2 points higher than mine.
What did your projection come in at, though?
That's what I'm gonna look at. 143. So you got me in both, but
not surprising.
Yeah. This is what I mean, we've talked about this when you're doing GPPs, a lot of times your projections or your floors aren't going to be anywhere near it. You're playing for pure upside. And like I said, I just see it here. I mean, it's hard with Hill. I mean, I could go with a 4,100 running back, but it's, what are your options?
No,
okay, so I should take that back. I did have one other play that I might have done because there was a late add. There was a late add to the Raiders injury report, and Josh Jacobs got a late add to the injury report. I will I will have a lineup with Devontae Booker in it, because he'd be the only fully healthy back on the team going into a game against a team that is not good against running back position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen much. I have had to look into that Jacobs thing. Hopefully it's not, because he's been quietly really steady this year.
Yeah. I actually started the lineup with him slotted in. And then I did a little bit of looking around, and I mean, yeah, the matchup's good, but when you look in the last 4 weeks, he's only broken 15 points once. So that I have a hard time with a back that I'm not sure is going to crack the 15, because at 7,200 you're not getting, that's barely 2x or just over 2x, and that's not what you want in a GPP. So.
Yeah, well, it's saying here that Jacobs is not carrying an injury designation into the game Sunday. So,
oh, that's good. Then that changed since this afternoon. When I looked,
4:00 this afternoon.
Yeah, yep, that would have been after I looked.
So,
because I looked somewhere around the neighborhood of 2:00. But yeah, so there we are. I apologize for not having the lineup built. You know what? Let's put your lineup back up in there so that people can see it. Let me just take out the guys that we... you had Travis Kelce in here. You had Keenan Allen. You had Mims. Isabella. Proud of myself for remembering it this far.
Yeah.
Then you had Kareem Hunt in here, right?
Yep.
Oh, and who was your last? Who was your flex back?
Wayne Gallman.
Thank you. Gail. All right, so there you go. There is Justin's cash lineup coming with an upside of 199. It's got me. Sorry, you had me by 1.6. And your projection is like 2 points up. Keenan Allen has been on fire. Yeah, I'll tell you what. That Justin Herbert's been dealing. It's hard to really. You could play Keenan Allen. You can play Hunter Henry. To an extent, you can play Mike Williams. He's been getting, he's touchdown he's very volatile.
I'll tell you what, this is a game I'm going to want to stack a lot.
Yep.
I think both these teams could put up a lot of points. I'm going to have some Steph Diggs. Probably depending on John Brown's status, I'm going to have some Gabriel Davis. Cole Beasley. Actually, I'll tell you what, I think I had Cole Beasley in one of the first iterations of this lineup that I put together.
You want to build with a low cost, a high upside. I mean, like no floor but high upside. Guyton right there.
Yeah, he's a little too boomer bust though, I think, for a cash game. But if you want to, GPP only. Speaking
of that game, I'll go ahead and I'll toss this out to you. Do you have any interest in playing Austin Eckler?
Because he plays.
They haven't ruled him out yet.
I know. I hope he plays. He's on one of my season longs. I'll have to make a roster move off the IR if they activate him. Man, I saw some video of him working out the other day. He was squatting like 450 or whatever. He was looking real stable and everything. So if he's good with the movement and he can do that kind of lifting with the kind of knee injury he had, then I'm thinking hopefully I know he's close.
What about Raheem Mostert?
Oh, man, the guy produces when he's in, but they got a tough matchup this week, so probably not ready to throw him in there this week.
All right, and I've got two more for you. If Tua doesn't play, do you have any Fitzmagic lineups?
Probably.
Yeah. How can you not? You got to root for that guy.
I did not really like look into it a lot, but what was the impetus for him getting pulled?
Okay, so the story originally was performance. They thought Fitzpatrick gave them the best chance to come back and win the game, and they almost did. They almost did. And then later on, it find out that Tua was a little banged up, which is why he may not actually play this game. I don't know if Tua being banged up is an actual thing, or if it's we screwed up when we pulled him from the game, and this is our good way to cover it, give him a little week break, and then bring him back. But he was getting beat up that game. He was getting beat up.
Yeah.
So, if Fitzpatrick does play, I will be probably going to some shares of Fitzpatrick with Devontae Parker and maybe even some Gesicki in there.
I mean, if you're the Dolphins, you made the move,
Yeah.
So
you made the move. You got to support him. That's what you're saying. That screwed him up.
If Tua is healthy, you got to play him, especially in this kind of matchup that is the kind that you could build some confidence off of.
Well, and it's a divisional game too, so like I think it's really important to establish that with your new QB against the divisional opponent. Go in and show them what you're made of. Set the standard, But again, if he's healthy.
So we haven't touched on this at all, probably because it's not in the main slate or anything. But our beloved Bears.
Yeah, that
Sunday
was one
night
of my
football.
things. Hang on, let me get off this lineup screen. Let's go to this so you can see a bigger shot of me wanting to vomit. All right, go ahead.
Anyhow, the Bears Sunday night division rival. Our first crack this year at Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I mean, we really have no reason to feel optimistic about this game whatsoever. But it was finally confirmed that what everyone knew was going to happen this week, and that's that Mitch Trubisky was named the starter today. So we all know your feelings about Mitch. It's pretty well documented throughout the years of our this little experiment that we've got going.
It's documented from day one. Like from the second he made the pick, it's been pretty documented.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had a man crush on Jay Cutler, which is fine, but
regardless, it was a dumbass move. I don't care how Harry said it was a dumbass move.
It was bad. I mean, it was bad because you traded picks to move up. You
didn't even talk to the national championship winning quarterback.
It was Ryan Pace is a joke, and the fact that he has a job right now is beyond. I don't know. He's like I don't know how he. So the Raiders gifted him the executive of the year because they basically made the worst deal ever for, and gave up a prime Khalil Mack with all of his best years ahead of him. And that's the only reason that Pace won executive of the year.
He's built that defense. What they've done with that defense has been, I mean, go back to a couple of years ago. That defense was trash, dude. Like they were bad, which is what Chicago's known for. And they've built it back. So on the defensive side, he's done really well. On the offensive side, it's been miss after miss after stupid move after stupid move. The one bright spot they have has been Allen Robinson.
And who they're probably not going to be able to hang on to this year after this year.
Because if you're Allen Robinson, you're like, get me out of here.
They're not making any sort of moves to try to make that offense better.
Anyway, good. I'll let you go on about Trubisky and then I'll.
So I've made it pretty well known since they made this move to get Nick Foles that I didn't like it. I didn't think he was a good fit. I think it was bad money. It was, you're throwing away a pick. Bad. There were free agents out there that were going to be more economical and wouldn't have cost you draft equity. And like I said, Nick Foles, even though he was banged up a bit last year, when he did get healthy, he couldn't beat out Gardner Minshew. And Minshew is no top 20 NFL quarterback. So I just thought it was a bad move. You knew that they were going to have to give Mitch a shot coming into this year because it was his last year before they had to decide on a 5th-year option, all that other stuff. So it just didn't make sense to me. And now, after seeing what we've seen through the last 6 weeks of Nick Foles, it tells me what I've known. The guy can't move his feet. He's falling backwards a lot. Is he making the right reads? Maybe. I don't know. He missed a wide open Darnell Mooney across the middle a week ago. That would have been an easy touchdown. And paired with the play calling and the state of the offensive line, I think that Trubisky at this point does give you a better chance to score points. And that's what this defense needs. It needs points from the offense because this defense would be dominant if it was paired with a capable offense. Unfortunately, it just gets run into the ground every week because they're always on the field. So, yeah, I'm excited to see Mitch this week. Do I expect them to win? I don't know. As a Bears fan, here's what I do expect. I expect Mitch to have the game of his life. I expect them to beat the Packers this week. I expect the Bears to spend a stupid amount of money to extend Mitch Trubisky because he had one game against the Packers. And for us as Bears fans to be in misery for the next 5 years because they gave this guy $100 million. That's what I expect to happen. The likely outcome is that they lose and they continue on this path. But I don't know. This is the way these stinking Bears are.
Yeah, so you pretty much went where I was going with this. This is just classic timing. So I know everybody was up in arms. The Nick Foles signing, I agree. It made no sense. It was not the smartest move to do. They brought him in because he knew the system, he knew the staff. That's why they brought him in. That's the story they gave. I still think Pace went out and found a guy that in the public's eye would look like competition for Trubisky, but was not actually competition for Trubisky, so that his guy would prove that he was the one, which that didn't really go very well. And everybody's like, well, he won the first 2 games. Yeah, his first 2 games were against the Lions and the Giants, and then he got pulled against the Falcons. Now, the Bears started losing after that.
The only 2 quarterbacks this year who are undefeated in starts are Ben Roethlisberger and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Bears' schedule after that, you go against the Colts, really good defense. You go against the Bucks, really good defense. But we ended up beating the Bucks somehow. The Panthers, we win. We go against the Rams, who have a good defense. The Saints, who have a good defense. The Titans, who don't really have a good defense, but their offense is pretty good. And then the Vikings, who we should have beat. Here's my thing. You mentioned the offensive line is just bad. We haven't had David Montgomery now for what, 2 weeks?
I think 2 weeks. It might have only missed 1 week.
Might have only missed 1 week because he had the bye week. So this is, like you said, this is what's going to happen because this is how Bears seasons go. Mitch is going to come in. The offensive line is going to somehow play better because it's the Packers. They're going to play well enough that Montgomery actually has a decent day, so it helps with the passing game a little bit. Mitch scrambles obviously way better than Foles does, and he'll make like one or two like on the run really good throws because he does that every game. That'll make everybody forget about the like 4 or 5 that he launches 5 to 10 yards past his receivers, and then they'll name him the starter going forward. Where we get the Lions again. So, that's another easy one. The Texans, which that one will be tough because Deshaun Watson's just balling out, but they're beatable. The Vikings, beatable again. Then we get Jacksonville and we got the Packers again. And so it'll put us right in this position where we're at like 8-8, something like that. And like you said, they'll go, you know what? Let's pick up your option, Mitch. We don't need to get a QB anymore. And it's just going to be misery and misery and misery. Fire Ryan Pace. Fire Ryan Pace. Fire Ryan Pace.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he could take Matt Nagy with him. I don't care. But I'd rather have another coordinator from Kansas City. But
we'll have the same problem. I'm sorry. I don't care who you bring in to coach. If you have no offensive line and no quarterback, you're not winning games. I don't care who you are.
No, for sure.
Let's look at Bill Belichick right now in the Patriots. Like, you want a better example? Like, it's pretty much agreed. Belichick's the greatest coach or one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's missing a good portion of his offensive line, and he's got a QB that's struggling, who is better than what we have on the Bears, by the way, and they are having a bad year. So I don't care who your coach is. If you don't have the player at QB and you don't have him an offensive line, you're not going to win.
Yeah, I get it. No, I think that if they only pick up the 5th-year option on Mitch and they spend some draft equity and try to work on the line this year and then go after the quarterback the next year, that would be better than them signing a long-term deal with Trubisky. But
I don't think so. They can't pick up the option, I don't think, because they already denied it, but they can extend him for a year. They could get him a new contract. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, we've been Bears fans our entire lives. So this story's been written. He's going to come in. They'll beat the Packers by like 3 because he'll lead a drive in the last 2 minutes or something like that. They'll go on to just barely sneak into the they'll sneak into the playoffs. They're going to, everybody will be happy we beat the Packers, but it's going to be tarnished by the next day of listening to, I'm sorry, Bears fans as a whole need to not talk because he'll win and then everybody will be like, he's the greatest quarterback ever. We're going to the Super Bowl.
It's going to be the 8th
shuffle. I can hear our little V-Town posse like just message board going number 10 for president and Mitch for life and I'm a Trubisky truther, and unfortunately that's a good indicator of what the overall Chicago Bear fandom is like. It's painful.
You know that most of that is just to tweak you, right?
Yeah, well, it works. It works so good because it's so dumb. It's everybody so dumb.
Just freaking you. Yeah, I know.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb. But anyway, if you guys are watching, you're hanging out, let us know your thoughts. Obviously, throw them in the comments, shoot them to us on social media. We, as you can tell, we love the back and forth. If you really want to get us going, you start talking about Bears. You start talking about Illini football. That'll get us going too. Illini basketball. Like if it's orange and navy, we'll get pretty fired up over it. But yeah, man. All right, I don't have anything else to add. The Trubisky thing was going to be where I went last for a reason.
Yeah, I held off. It was good because they weren't. They're not on the main slate, so we could get through the important stuff and then start getting fired up a little bit. We both got a little bit of alcohol in us, and let's go kill some people on Warzone.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a small break, kill the stream, bring it back up, and we'll be running some video games. You want to see some really bad stuff? Stop by and watch that. We'd love to chat with you while we're doing that too. I die a lot, so I've got plenty of time to talk. So, all right, brother, you got anything else?
Oh, it's all good. Football season is still in full swing. I have a feeling we're going to get a week 18 added and end up getting an extra playoff team. We're going to have 2 extra playoff teams this year. So
yeah, and that'll be how the Bears sneak into the playoffs. And yeah, man, I want to flip stuff. I want to flip stuff right now so bad because I know it's coming. Prince of the Burbs, dude, you're my man. Thank you for sticking around, showing up every week. I really appreciate you hopping in and chatting. Love it. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. At Justin M. West, at JD West 22, hit us up on at Another Bad Call. Every social media platform you can think of that isn't TikTok. And we will talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace.
Deciding who wins the game on this call. Under ado, the call on the field stands. Touchdown.
After review, it has been determined that the